Yo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry I'm running like a little bit late. It's 3:01 here in New Vienna, Iowa today, Saturday, October 17th, 2020. It's time for another live stream. Hope you guys are doing well. We just got back from some hiking with the family back over at Backbone State Park in, I don't know what part of Iowa that is, but it's a part of Iowa where they don't have cell reception. So there's that. But we made it back in time. I had to get out of some wet shoes and socks because we tried to do a little bit of a river crossing, like a creek crossing, and I was helping the baby and I totally fell in. I didn't fall in. I mean, I just stood in the water, but I had wet feet for like the last hour. Wasn't too bad. Could have been much worse. Didn't completely fall in, so that's good. But that's why I'm like a little bit in a rush and a little bit not flustered, but we're here and had a really good run this morning. I'll tell you guys more about it, but first let's see who else is here. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Frank Lahulier says, talking about that World Half Marathon Championships today. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Kiplimo ended up, but I say that like a dismissive way. I don't mean for it to sound dismissive, but he won the World Half Marathon Championships today with a stellar star-studded field. I was reading just now that I think it was the first 10 runners came in under 59 minutes. No, under 60 minutes, like at 59 minutes and change. And then the first 28 were like under 61. That's just insane. That's insane. And Frank's wondering, do you think he's a candidate for breaking the 2-hour marathon? I don't know, but like he's pretty young, isn't he? So like does he have the lifetime miles to be able to carry that kind of speed all the way through? But it's crazy. Carlos Sejas is here. Stevie76 says, I asked Seth early this morning on his live stream whether he still has his day job or if he's a full-time YouTuber now. He said he'll announce something about that next week in his channel. Oh, that's interesting. I thought he was already. Chris Yao says, hi everyone, I'm negative Nancy today, so beware. Oh, all right, we'll keep an eye out for you, Chris. We'll keep you in line. Make sure you don't go too far down a rabbit hole. C Drive 300 says, happy Saturday, Kofuzi Yites. That's an interesting one. I love it. How's it going, C Drive? Awesome. Oh, I get it. C Drive. C Drive, like C Drive? Is it like the C Drive? I don't know. I'm not sure where that comes from, but I like the name. JC is here. Simon N. Kevin Bickerton. Awesome. I saw some of you guys in the Seth's live stream, speaking of Frank, talking about the live stream today, and Stevie76. I had it on. I wasn't participating in the chat, but I was there, and I had it on as I was putting together like today's video and then starting to get ready doing some stretches and stuff. So yeah, so it was good to kind of hang out there and just be able to like observe and kind of like take in the live stream. So that was a lot of fun. The Simon says, good evening from Germany. Or in German, it would be Die Simon or D Simon. That's a Simpsons joke. But hi, the Simon, how are you? Bertley Guess is here. And Remy says, only negative splits. That's funny. Awesome. Noah's here as well. The airplane in the icon there. I don't know if I can move these over. I wish I could move these over to these comments that are on like over here on this one corner. I wish I could move them over here because, or maybe I just need to move my laptop, but I don't know. Cause I look this way, like that's where like the comments are. So that's what I'm reading. But then like the words that I'm showing you guys on the screen show up on the other side. I got to figure that out. I'll figure something out. Ben Wise here, Ben Ng. Good to see everybody here. Bert says it's night before race day tomorrow. I'm pumped. Awesome, Bert. Hopefully you have a good race tomorrow. Very cool. Oh, look, Motivation Theory Running is here. Where'd that go? Motivation Theory Running is here as well. Good to see you. Rain Runner, Roadrunners Reviews. Awesome. And Carlos Sejas says it's the first time in a long while they've been able to attend. Glad to see everybody. Well, it's good to see you too. What's that? Is that Camaro in there on that picture? I'm trying to see. Pete G 1980 says, Kofuzi, how's it hanging? I'm feeling very optimistic today. I had a long run scheduled, still following that Stride 10K plan, and conditions for the run weren't great. It was like 40 something degrees, so it wasn't too chilly. Actually, a pretty good temperature for running, but the winds were absolutely insane, and like all the corn is almost all gone around here, and so it just seems like the wind whips through everything. So I felt like I had a super windy run, but this was the best, it was an 11-mile run, but it was the best 11-mile run in terms of the knee that I've had in a very long time. So super excited about that. Feeling really good. I've been saying I feel like I've turned the corner in terms of the knee thing. I've been doing the knee strengthening exercises and the glute exercises and activating glutes and anything that I can think of for the last couple of weeks. And I feel like making good progress. So feeling really good. Fern Wolf says, hi, everyone. What's going on, Fern? GJ's here as well. Bob Tub says, my wife bought 5 pumpkins. Depending on where you are, that may or may not be enough. Around here, I think that is a normal number of pumpkins to have in New Vienna. Just looking at all the other people's houses around here, it's people decorate for Halloween like crazy. I thought people went pretty nuts over 4th of July and Labor Day and stuff like that in terms of having stuff out, but maybe because it's a rural community and with this time of year, everything's very harvesty, but people are going all out for the Halloween decorations. And sorry, I'm going to adjust the lighting in here. There we go. There. So people are going all out, and I'm just looking across the street and I can see the neighbor across the street. They have 2 pumpkins. They've changed out some of their flower boxes to have some more fall flowers, and it looks like they don't have too much stuff out yet, but they're getting ready. They usually go all out across the street. They're a younger couple. They don't have kids yet. At least I think they're a younger couple. They don't have kids. I'm not sure. Eric the Red is here. Good to see you. FPS Mzungu. That's an interesting name. Just hi, guys. What's going on? Rainrunner said, did anyone else see that Killian Jornet just ran a 10K in 29:59 and was disappointed? I didn't know he was disappointed. I did see that Seth was at the end of his live stream this morning. He was talking about does anyone know when that 10K is that he's running? And I guess it was this morning. It was today, and so I didn't get a chance to see it. But I did see Seth tweet about it later, and he said it was 29:59, which is a crazy fast time. And I didn't realize he was disappointed about that. But I also thought that there wasn't supposed to be an Ingebrigtsen or 2 competing in that. So who won that 10K? That's what I'd like to know. My mom is here. How's it going, Mom? Good to see you. Hopefully New Jersey's doing well over there. Rainwater says, is Kofuzi has a focus? Maybe. Let's see. I was in a real rush to get up here. So I usually wait for it to get set on my eye, and then we'll try it. Hopefully that's better. I think that's better. It's hard for me to tell because this new software that I'm using, it's web-based, and the image that I see, in my preview window down here, the thing that I'm looking at all the time, I always look a little bit soft. And so it's hard for me to tell. I do manual focus on it, so that way this lens doesn't hunt and peck around for focus, so it just stays in one focus. I know that I'm not going to move around too much when I'm doing this, so that's why. So hopefully that's better. Jody's here. What's going on, Jody? Daniel M says, "What's up, Kofoodies?" Someone yesterday asked about the recipe for the meatballs. I think the meatballs went over well, but I usually just make up a recipe as I go. So yesterday I had 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I think it was probably 80-20 hamburger, just ground beef, and then a slice and a half of bread, homemade bread. So probably the equivalent of 2 slices of store-bought bread, maybe 3. And then it was a couple of days old. Diced it, and then mixed it in with a beaten egg and not quite a 1/4 cup of milk. Mash up the bread, egg, and milk, and then mush in the meatballs, and then just form it into balls, and then bake it. I baked it at 425 for about 30 minutes. That worked out pretty good. I didn't eat any of them, but they seem to go over well. So that's the meatball recipe. That's it. Just make stuff up. It's kind of the same recipe as my meatloaf recipe is a little bit different than that because I usually put onions in it. But yeah, kind of the same thing as a meatloaf recipe. And sometimes that's even my hamburger recipe. If I'm making a Juicy Lucy, I might use that as my hamburger recipe. Andrew Scott says, greetings from Cedar Rapids. Awesome. I went in the house. Very cool. Daniel M said, voted early yesterday and got a food shot today. Want my gold medal. I mean, you're good. You're good for like the rest of 2020. You're all set. So good work. Good work on you. Martha's here, says, hi, everyone. I'm listening to my brother who's talking to me on the phone from Alaska, but I'll be listening to Mike soon. Very cool. That's okay. Family first. You know, definitely take care and don't worry about it. We'll be here. We'll be here afterwards. Martha says, cowbell for Daniel M2. Well, okay, let's get the cowbell going, but you got to tell me what the cowbell's for. What happened, Daniel? Here it comes. It takes a second. There it is. All right, we got Scotty B coming in from the Bowl North. Awesome. Where did it go? All right, I lost it. I don't know where it went. So I'm just going to scroll down to some of the comments at the bottom because I know I'm a little bit behind, guys, today. Lewis M says, the Jacko Pumpkin Ale you drank recently was featured when Bill Burr hosted SNL. It was the best. Awesome. I didn't see that, but I heard it was like a little controversial. Was it controversial? I'm not sure. But I haven't had a chance to see that one yet. TV76 says, how's your meatballs? Urine smelling okay today? I had a lot of coffee, so it smells normal, I guess. I didn't have the meatballs. I did have tuna fish. So I toasted some hot dog buns, and we had some like kind of like mini like lobster type rolls. That was kind of like the goal. And so you can either make like an Italian sub, like you had some pasta, like some marinara, some ragu, some spaghetti sauce. Not saying marinara is kind of over, like gilding the lily, I guess. But yeah, so that and some cheese for people that wanted it. I had tuna fish and tomatoes and cheese in mine. So yeah, I actually kind of really liked it. Frank Lillier says, people here are putting up Halloween lights like Christmas lights. That's what we do. I mean, in my house in Chicago, we have a lot of Christmas lights. What my wife wants to get is basically like lights that have interchangeable, not bulbs, but there's like these little kind of like Chinese paper lantern type of things that like go on top of our Halloween lights. And so she wishes that they made ones that like just switch, so I could switch it like after Halloween to like a turkey or like a cornucopia or something for Thanksgiving, and then switch it to like Christmas, and then just leave the lights up permanently, basically, and then switch like the whatever like holiday it is. That's what my wife is looking for. We like to decorate our house because it gives the girls something to do. They really like it. And it keeps them, I don't know, stimulated. They like it. So we're definitely into the Halloween lights. I don't know that I would put Halloween lights up on my house, but some people go insane about it over here. There's one house that already, like earlier this week or maybe even last week, they have a very elaborate Halloween setup where it's one of those houses where like they've got like ropes like hanging like all over from like different parts of the house into the front yard, and it looks like a giant spider web. And then they have like this giant fake spider web, and they've got like the bones that look like they're coming out of the ground, like something's like, you know, like the undead are coming out. And they've got that, and they've got lights, and they got neon lights on the ground, or not neon lights, but like those lights, rope lights, you know, they got all that. So people go pretty intense around here. And there used to be in the house down the street, they used to have a super elaborate thing where it was kind of like, think like Home Alone, you know, that scene where like he's got all the things that are moving and it's like pretending that there's like a party going on at the house. They had kind of like that kind of system where everything was like a little mannequin that was like moving around, but it was Halloween type stuff. And they had lights and sounds and like scary music and like a fog machine and stuff. And so that was something that people would like just go up there and watch. And it was super fun for Halloween. My mother-in-law said that the last couple of years they haven't been doing it at the house. I don't know if someone else moved in or what, but instead this year they've got a Trump flag that they just put up. So that's pretty terrifying too. So trading one kind of horror for another, I guess. Yeah. And Jody says, I thought you were going somewhere else with the corn's gone comment. It could be. Yeah, the last time I did have to do that, it's because the corn was gone. Some of it was gone, and it was just like I had like a much nicer view. So like it was kind of like nice. I mean, I was a little bit worried because I'm like, now people can see me from like really far away. People will probably like spot like a dude wearing like all black, like squatting in a field. That kind of sticks out in like a big, like earth tone and like green and, a field colored field. But on the other hand, it was like, I had a really nice view. So imagine like if all of a sudden in your bathroom, like all the walls were gone and it was just windows, you'd feel a little exposed, but the view would be nice. So that's what things have been like for me lately. Tobias says about Killian's performance today. His training PB is 20 seconds faster than the time he ran today. I wonder if he was. Can you imagine being like, I ran like under 30 minutes for a 10K. I was a little tired. I could have done better. Yeah, he's a speedy guy. Carlos asked, will you get the tempo next? I think I'm going to pass on that one. The reviews have not been stellar, and the ones that I've seen that are like that seem to be neutral, I feel like that's coded. There's a lot of coded language in there that are people that are like, I don't know. I think they're trying to tell you that they're trying to very nicely say that don't get this shoe. I feel like is what a lot of the reviewers are saying. So I'm probably going to pass on that one. Martha says, we watched Mark Wiens, a YouTube food traveler, in Copenhagen while we ate lunch, and he was eating frikadellers, which are Danish meatballs. Awesome. Very cool. Chris Fair, where did that go? And you guys are going rapid fire in the comments today. Awesome. Chris Fair says, I've noticed people are being a lot more decorative in Chicago for Halloween this year as well. I think people being at home more might be the call. I'm all for it. I think it's great. I like it when people are decorating. I know that my kids, both when we're in Chicago and whenever we're here too, and we go around and we see like windows with like hearts like made out of construction paper or rainbows made out of construction paper or anything just decorated in the windows made out of construction paper. My kids are like, kids live there. That's great. We love their decorations. And so like, it just, I think it, kind of reminds you of like that these aren't just buildings, that's a community here, so I definitely like all the decorations. I can't imagine that they're still doing it, but I remember in Chicago before we left, we were doing the 8 p.m., flicker your lights and make a whole bunch of noise thing every day. And my kids loved that. They like lived for that. They would set like alarms and reminders, like 1 hour until it's 8 o'clock. And then we would get all our cowbells out. So we would do that. And then they have a little karaoke machine. And so after a while, we started like facing the karaoke machine out the window, and they would just yell into microphones. And they would say, hello, Chicago. How are you doing today? Thank you, healthcare workers. So like it was nice, because then you'd hear everyone else in the neighborhood kind of going crazy too. And it was in a time when like we were really, we're still really avoiding human connection now, but in a time when you were avoiding it but yearning for it, it was a nice way to kind of feel connected. Okay. Martha says for the cowbell, flu shot and voting. That was the Daniel M. Gold Medal cowbell. Yeah, that definitely deserves a cowbell for sure. Stevie76 says mail-in vote or Iowa residency. I'm not an Iowa resident. My mail-in vote is en route. And what we think my wife are thinking about doing is I think she has her mail-in ballot already. I have mine, but I think my understanding is that you can request the mail-in ballot and then drop it off in a drop box, like in a ballot box. Not like the fake cardboard ones that are showing up in California, but like a real one. Like if they have them like just outside the voting centers. And so we think we're going to do that and just do kind of like a quick 450-mile round trip to drop off a ballot. So that way we just go into the city, drop them off, they're there, and then get out. Don't talk to anyone, don't be near anyone, don't breathe on anyone, don't stop. We're debating whether or not we need to buy some adult diapers for this, because I can't go very long without going to the bathroom. So we'll have to see how that goes. But that's currently the plan. Yeah. Let's see. Lewis M talking about Bill Burr says the monologue was controversial for sure, but I think that's his shtick. Big Bill Burr fan. He pokes fun at everyone, but I don't think he means harm. Yeah, I mean, he's always kind of been that way. So he always tries to get a reaction a little bit. But you know, I'll have to see it. I'll take a look for sure. Simon Evans says, "You're talking about meatballs." I look up at the TV. My wife is watching, and there is an autopsy on the screen. I thought that was going a total different way, but that's funny. That's funny. Ben and I said, "Did you see the falls in the women's half marathon?" Brutal stuff. I didn't see it. I didn't see any of the race. I didn't see the men's or the women's. All I experienced of the men's half marathon championship was Seth's like narration of it. So that was like kind of an unusual experience. I imagine that most people that were tuning in like had two things open, like his like live stream of it, and then the actual like streaming it from some other place. And so I just didn't bother to get that set up. So I just put them on like the TV. There's a room downstairs where my daughter does her homeschooling. And that's usually where in the mornings, no one's up, but I go in there and I'll, watch TV or the news and then work on a video and then do kind of like my morning stretching routine. So I had that on the big TV, not a big TV, but a big TV. And then, so I can't like chat when I've got it on like the big TV, which is like, I don't know. I feel like the Apple TV's got to figure out a way to navigate that a little bit better. Like I really enjoy watching YouTube on a big screen, like on a TV, but it drives me insane that like even to just thumbs up a video on YouTube, you have to like hit slide down. If you can't push down, because if you push, it pauses the video, but you have to slide down on the little touch pad on the remote, then like go over, hit the ellipses, and then over, and then thumbs up. And I mean, it's just like, it's ridiculous. But anyway, that's nothing to do with what Ben Mai was saying. But yeah, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'd like to go watch it, but we'll see like what's available on YouTube. Otherwise, I think I can maybe see if I can find it streamed somehow on NBC Sports or something. I don't know. Rainrunner says, I got the flu shot and was relieved that it didn't make my arm sore really or anything. Yeah, we were concerned. We had 3 of 4 of us. I mean, my in-laws had gotten theirs like weeks ago. And then the 3, like me, my wife, and my older daughter were able to go to Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee their pharmacy has like drive-through flu shots, so we didn't have to go in anywhere. We just went in there and then like, filled out a form. They came out with like a little cart and you roll down the window and they like jabbed you through the window. So I was like, I like that. But they don't do that for babies. And so the 4-year-old that my wife had to, unfortunately, well, I'm assuming it was fine, but because it was only a couple of days ago, but they had to take her to like, I think she took her to a pediatrician's office to have to get hers. And last year, my older daughter had a real bad reaction to hers. And so we were worried about that, but we dodged a bullet there. And then yesterday, so I guess it was 2 days ago when we got the baby her shot. Yesterday, like in the morning, she was like super grumpy and like a little bit low energy. And we were like, oh no, she probably got a little bit sick from it or something. But by the afternoon, she was fine. So we got off okay, no real side effects, and no one had like terribly sore arms. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm glad that Rain Runner worked out for you too. Let's see. Gus Constantine saying about Bill Burr's monologue, he said it was controversial, quote unquote, even though it wasn't new material. It was controversial for 5 minutes. The beer ad spoof was hilarious. All right, I'm definitely going to go check it out. Yeah. Oh yeah, we need a cowbell for a Rain Runner too. Getting that flu shot done. Yeah. Remy says though, if your arm doesn't hurt, did you really get a flu shot? Yeah, my arm didn't hurt either. I thought it would, but I didn't. Scotty B says he took the Clifton 7 out for half today. Good news is no snow showers. Yeah. Although, you know what? I think we're supposed to get, I don't know about you guys up there, but we're supposed to get some light precipitation overnight, snow wise. So we're supposed to get maybe some flurries. Nothing that's going to stick, they say, but it'll be kind of like the first real like snow that we've seen, I think. Although yesterday, my mother-in-law's they've been looking for a new car since we bought their old car. So they need another car. And they were in just Dyersville, like 5 miles down the road. And they said that when they were at the car dealership looking for a car, it started to like lightly snow and kind of like I don't know, freezing rain. It wasn't quite hail, but maybe some freezing rain type of stuff. So I guess maybe it's not the first in this area. Paul Kane said, "Did you watch the World Half Marathon races today? Women's race was really amazing. Big fall at 18K. No, I didn't see any of that. I heard, I listened, I guess. I mean, not even listened, but I watched Seth's live stream for the men's race. You know, I thought he was going to be doing both, but I guess he just did the men's race. But yeah, it was cool because, you know, it was exciting to see him so excited to like kind of like watch those runners. Because like, you know, we've been talking in this live stream for several days, not for several days, but over several occasions, we've talked about like all these big events need to have like a normal person in them just to like show everyone in the world like how incredible these runners are. But like watching Seth watch a half marathon race is like kind of like a different twist on that. Cause I know him, he's like a normal person, but he's not like that. I mean, he's like, in terms of like best in the world, I don't think he's one of the best in the world. But if he's like shooting for like a 62, 63, you know, that's pretty incredible. And so to watch someone who can run like 63, 64, or even 62, to watch runners who are running 59 in a half marathon, I think was pretty like, it was a very eye-opening experience. And he was so excited. And it was, I mean, when is he not excited? But like, he was excited for his training and for like his preparations. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. Sabanzovic Kadir says, how's cycling going? I have a MTB and ride it on roads. Notice that you have a similar issue too. I'm forced to cycle since I cannot run due to an injury. Yeah, you know what? I haven't rode the bike in like 10 or 11 days, I think. Because I've been using it mostly because my knee has been bothering me so much that I'm like, I still want to stay fit, but my body can't take the pounding. But now like my body is starting to like respond. I think I'm at like 45 or 46 miles for the week so far. Tomorrow, I think what I'm going to do though is, since I went 11 today and I felt really good, I don't want to push it. So tomorrow I'll do maybe 5. And then I think I'm going to hop on the bike for a little bit. So yeah, I mean, in terms of my overall goals with the bike, my goal is to get that bike to 500 miles. And right now I'm at like 200 and something. So like, I still got some work to do. So like, I got to remember that, like, you know, hey, don't forget about that bike. So I'm looking to keep going on that. Remy was saying yesterday that I should look into a gravel bike. And I think a gravel bike is probably what would suit me best for the kind of riding that I do here. But then I was thinking like, well, maybe I do get a road bike, and then if the times that I might be on like a gravel surface, most likely is going to be when I'm with my kids or family rides. So in that situation, you know, maybe I just keep this bike even after 500 miles on it, and then have that for whenever I need to pull like the baby in the trailer or whatever. So I'm thinking I might have 2 bikes. I don't know. Their plan originally was to ride it for a while and then give it to one of my nieces and nephews. I have many nieces and nephews, and I have a couple that I think that could fit that bike really well. So I was thinking about that, because I don't know that they all have, or I don't know. They might be like in between sizes. So I think it would be could be useful there. So we'll see what we do with it. But I'm keeping the mountain bike tires on it, even though I do primarily road riding here, just to like, this is the bike I bought. I'm going to ride it exactly the way it was, for no real reason except to like just to do it. And then maybe we'll see. I think that if I really long term was going to plan on keeping this bike, I'd probably put like gravel bike tires on it, or like commuter tires on it. So I think that's what I would do. But I'm just going to ride these nubby tires to the 500 mile point and see where we're at. Anna says it must be cold in Iowa. The warm hat is on. Yeah. It got chilly. I mean, today's warmer than yesterday, but I don't know. Yesterday I was really cold, and I think it's just carrying through. but it's really windy here too, and it's been windy for like weeks now, and that really, the wind just cuts into you over here. Yeah, Ben Y says, surprising how fast the half marathon times were despite all the cornering they had to do. I didn't see the course, so I'm interested to like look at the course, but I remember hearing Seth talking about like that it was a lot of sharp turns, and he was surprised at how many not alpha flies he saw. But he also said that many times that the pace was really, really slow, like in the beginning, and everyone was kind of feeling each other out. It didn't seem like anyone was going after the world record, but everyone was probably like it seemed like everyone was like doing the sit back and then kick strategy of racing, which how incredible is that? That like Kiplimo comes in at like around 59 on a race that like wasn't optimal for fast times. It's just insane. LOL says, what's better, fuel cell or React? Oh, good question. I think, I think React is better. But I think when it comes to performance, I like fuel cell more. But when you say fuel cell, though, fuel cell can mean like 6 different things, I think. So like the fuel cell that's in the fuel cell RC Elite, I think is different than the fuel cell that's in the fuel cell TC, which I think is different than the fuel cell that's in like the Rebel. So like it can change. So that's what makes it harder. But like the React, like I was just thinking about the Epic React the other day. I think because it showed up in a video that I like looked at. Oh, when I made the Going Pro full-time YouTuber video, I picked up I used a clip where I was running in the Epic React, the version 1. And, I really, really liked that shoe a lot. And I'm really hoping, I don't like the Miler. I don't want to run in the Miler. The Infinity Run React looks fine, but I'm not going to run in it. If they make an Epic React version 3, I'll run in that. Or like, give me like an Odyssey React 3. Like I want that. I really like the Odyssey React. So like, I do like React, but like, not a huge fan of it in the Pegasus 37. Like it wasn't as good as I thought it could be. And it was good in the Zoom Fly 3, but I had some issues with just how thick that React was. So yeah. So I think React still, I think, is better though, because it has the potential to be so good to run on, and it lasts forever. Let's see. Simon Emmett says, why can the kids dress up as monsters and knock on people's doors, but when I stand outside in old people's homes dressed as the Grim Reaper putting in the windows, I get arrested? That's funny. By the way, around here, like every town has agreed to like, yeah, I think we can do a trick or treat. It's for the kids. Let's do it. So there's going to be a lot of trick or treating going on. Ed Bud says, in terms of that half marathon race, what's going on, Ed? The last 10K, they smashed it. Yeah, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Carrie S says, Rocket X review. Love the channel. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, it's coming, but like the shoe, it's borderline vaporware at this point. Last Thursday at 3:00 in the morning, they released it for pre-order, and it didn't like sell. I don't know that do pre-orders sell out? So I forgot about it until like the evening. So like, Thursday evening, I pre-ordered a pair, and it said that the ship date is going to be November 1st. So, November 1st isn't that far off, but it just sounds really far away for a shoe that was on Elite's feet February 29th of this year. So, it's been a long time. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm very eager about it because I love, I liked the Carbon X. I love the Carbon Rocket. So something that's like a mix of the two, I'm hoping falls in the love category. So, yeah. Ed Bud talking about its longevity says React can be used to make houses. I bet you it is a pretty good insulator. I don't know why I think that, but I bet you it'd be like, oh, good. It's like the asbestos of the shoe world. Oh, you can use it on anything. It works great. But I guess, I mean, it's not like it's best. I don't think it kills you, but you know. Carrie S says, isn't cycling just for runners that can't run anymore? I mean, it's kind of funny because I was listening today. I had no idea, but the last Extra Mileage podcast, Flores interviewed Matt Fitzgerald. So that was like, that like popped up on my like Apple Watch today. I was like looking for like something to listen to in my run. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And Matt Fitzgerald was like, I got injured earlier this year. And so, he's like, I get injured a lot. I'm just injury prone. I try to, handle it as rationally as I can. And one of the things that happened was when I hurt my foot, he said, I signed up for a cycling race. So that's, I mean, Matt Fitzgerald apparently has raced triathlons and Ironman many times before. So he's not new to cycling like I'm new to it, but for him it was like, well, I can't run, so I might as well hop on a bike. So, but I do enjoy it. But now that I feel like I'm getting back to like my normal like running, I feel like I see it coming. It's like on the horizon, like normal running. I'm like, how do I keep that up? Especially because now with the temperature dropping, like the idea of like riding. I mean, I spent one winter in St. Louis, which is not like a cold weather city, but it's not, I mean, it still gets a winter, but I rode a motorcycle all winter long because I didn't have a car that year. So I commuted everywhere on motorcycle and I got so cold that winter. So like, I just think about that when I think about like winter riding. So I'm a little bit, not really looking forward to like winter riding, but I guess I just gotta, acclimate and get used to it. Answer B says, what was your first running watch? My first running watch was the Vivo Active 3. My experience with running watches isn't like super deep. But I think I had one. I think I had a Polar watch though, back in like 2009 or no, this would have been 2007. Because it was the year my wife and I got married, and as we were getting ready for the wedding, this dates it. I already told you 2007, but we went to Sports Authority and we went and wanted to buy a heart rate monitor. So we got a heart rate monitor, and I think there was a watch that went with it. So that way, when we were on the treadmill, you didn't have to hold it to know like what your heart rate was. It would just talk to your treadmill. So I think I may have had, I don't know if we bought just heart rate monitors. I'll ask her, but I don't know if we bought just heart rate monitors or if we bought a heart rate monitor watch combo. I want to say it was just heart rate monitors, but I kind of remember a watch too. But either way, it wasn't memorable and it wasn't like a GPS running watch or anything like that. So my first GPS running watch was like the Vivo Active 3. Let's see. And it says, we have different types of shoes for different types of run. Bikes are like that. Road bike for road, fat bike for the beach, 29-inch mountain bike for trails, 650B MTB for trail centers. Then it's the unicycles. Do you ride a unicycle too? Wow. I've always wanted to I'm not going to say I've always wanted to ride a unicycle because I have no desire to ride a unicycle, but, I really want to ride one of those one wheels. Like I want to get good at that. But I also feel like if I get one of those, I'm going to end up either with a broken forearm or a broken ankle or both. And I'm just like, I'm 40. Can a 40-year-old buy a one wheel? I feel like there's an age limit on that. I don't know. Yeah, Ed Bud is excited for the Rocket X2. He says it sounds lighter. It's a new foam, and it could be a winner. I hope so. I hope so, Ed. It'd be a good way to like round out the year, to have like an exciting new shoe at the end of the year. I'm still also trying to get a pair of Adios Pro. I haven't looked at Stock X for a while, so I don't know if maybe there's a couple of pairs floating around there. I'd be willing to do that. Because that shoe's been killing it lately at some of the races. So, and now I'm like super curious. Is it My gut is that it's a shoe that only like actual elites are going to love, kind of like the Hyperion Elite 1. Not that a lot of elites like that shoe either, but I have a feel that's my like kind of gut hypothesis right now. But now that it's seen a lot of success, I'm interested in it. I want to see if it works. James Aylward says, would love a pair of Rocket X, but concerned about my carbon footprint. Smiley face with tears, crying tears emoji. He said, I'll get my coat. That's funny. That's funny. Dad jokes are always appreciated here. Oh, Edbut's going to run into Adazero Adios Pro tomorrow. We'll take it for a half and see how it fares. Wasn't blown away the last time he used it, though. Yeah. Tom Lash said it's on the Adidas app to members only. Yeah, I got the notification and I ignored it because I have the app and I'm like, what is it, like Creators Club or something is what like their members are called. It's something super weird. It like encourages you not for buying like actual like sports like shoes, but it like rewards you for like doing things like look at this video about Yeezys or something. Like it's a weird app. It's a weird program, but I get tons of notifications from it that I've left on because I'm waiting for like I was waiting for this particular notification, but it just got me so lulled into just like ignoring it. I don't care about another new version of the NMD R1s. I don't care about another version of Yeezys. And then I missed the Adios Pro notification. So I was like bummed about that. It's my own fault, I guess. Danny J says, I have a good friend who is a beast at running and on the bike. He tells me there is crossover strength and cardio gains to be made in cycling. Every runner can benefit. Yeah, I think there's something to that for sure. And I also think that like because of the way, when you're pushing it on the bike, it's not the same as like a hill workout, but you're using like, I feel like it's like loading the muscle in a different way that I feel like there's got to be a strength benefit there too. So like, I'm interested in the idea and, not to say that like, well, I'm old now, so now I'm going to like reduce miles and ride the bike more. But I have, listened like, anecdotally just to a lot of podcasts where people that were running at like the sub elite level were like, I only run like, 2/3 of the amount of mileage that I used to run, but, I have lifetime fitness and instead I do a lot of swimming and cycling and it keeps the cardio up and I'm running as good as I've ever been, so I hear things like that too, so, plus I have been enjoying it. So like I did that 20-mile ride, which was like my, it's like tied for my longest ride. And I felt like I had a lot left. So I was like, maybe I can do one of these longer rides. Plus, also this morning, I spent a lot of time watching Ryan Doozer's Continental Divide series. He just rode like a ton of miles. And like, some days they'd ride like 30 or 40, but others he'd ride like 90 miles, and I'm like, see, that sounds like a fun adventure, but there's no way that I could do that, especially because he was on like gravel roads and stuff and going up mountains and things. So like not that that's like the goal, but like, I think being versatile and ready for adventure is kind of like where I'm getting primed. Like, once I can get it like out of this house, I'm ready for anything kind of thing. Yeah, Mr. Random says, my running injury led me to getting into cycling and then triathlons. Awesome. Not really, Hank. Aaron says, no motorcycle, you have kids. Yeah, I don't have a motorcycle now. Yeah, that winter when I was riding, it was when my wife and I were still dating. And then we had it until like then I lived in St. Louis and then we moved to Chicago. And then the second year of us living in Chicago, I got rid of the bike. Because it was just, I was in law school then and it was just too much. I was like, I don't have time for this thing. And it says, I think mixing running and cycling really helps. Add a bit of strength or movement and it all works together. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something there, and I don't want to like lose the momentum, because I feel like my butt is conditioned, I guess, like to seat time, so I don't want to lose that. Those were hard fought gains, I gotta tell you. Mr. Random says, what shoe would you recommend as a replacement for the Peg 37? I think the Rincon 2 this year is a really good alternative if you don't like the Peg 37, or if you want to try, if you've been running in it and you want to try something else. I think I'll say the Beacon 2, because I haven't run in the Beacon 3 yet, but I think the Beacon 2 or the Beacon 3 are also going to be really good choices to kind of switch up from there. Let's see. The Convara, I like the Convara a lot this year. So I think that's another really good one too. But that one's going to feel really like low to the ground compared to the Peg 37. Although I don't think the stack heights are that different, it just feels like a lot lower. So, Cameron McBride says, I want a one wheel so bad. Yeah. All right, let's get a couple more. Let me skip to the bottom and see what we got here. We'll do a couple of questions and then we'll go. Nike Aeroswift singlet worth it? Saw it 40% off and really thinking of getting one. I'd say yes. I mean, if I could run in Aeroswift every day, I would, but it's really expensive, but it's worth it. I think it's nice to have like one and save it like for your race days or like the days where you really want to, when you want to feel good, you look good to feel good, that kind of thing. You feel good, you perform good, that kind of. Then I reach for the Aeroswift. There's not a material that I know that's like it. It's great. I love it. So if you can get it for 40% off, I mean that's still like $50, $60, right? So so it's still not cheap, but I do really enjoy Aeroswift. Not really. Hank Aaron said you could easily ride 90 miles. I don't know. No, I mean, I think my muscles can handle it if I had if it was like a day trip, but in terms of the seat time, I don't think my body's ready for that. that's where I need conditioning there. Carlos says, who else raises their cheap Walmart mountain bike seat so it looks pro? I mean, I think that's what I'm doing. I don't do it so I make it look pro. I just do it because the bike I think is a little bit small for me. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I've never been fitted for a bike. I think maybe I probably was at some point because I bought bikes from bike shops before. So I'm probably sure I was fitted then, but I wasn't fitted for this one. It was a bike on the shelf that I can get. So I got it. Danny J said, did my first 20-mile ride yesterday. Cool. My butt was definitely starting to convince me to get a padded short. Yeah. I watched a lot of videos about different saddle styles and how to make the experience more comfortable. And I don't have a pair of padded shorts, so maybe that is something that I'll look into. But I think I'm thinking a lot about position and how I'm sitting on it. I think that's another big thing. But I'm not an expert, but that's something that I really try to be mindful of. And Ines says he can club juggle on a unicycle. What? That is ridiculous. That is funny. I think we're going to need a video of that. We're going to need to see that. Well, send it to me. We'll watch it together if you want. You don't have to. But yeah, that's funny. Danny J gave up on his Kinvara. He basically died after 80 miles. Just lost the responsive bounce. Might have to do with my size and leverage. Kinvara for small folks only, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's a thinner shoe and it's like a 4mm drop, but that's possible. I'm not sure. I haven't heard that a lot. Sorry to hear that though. Danny J says more glute work. You should start squatting and deadlifting. Well, I do like body weight squats, and I do single leg, like the Superman, like the balance deadlift. Like those are like single leg deadlifts, right? So I do those. That's part of like my kind of stretching / mobility routine that I do. I do need to do more glute work though, and I'm working on that. Someone was commenting yesterday in one of the videos about like, my right knee kind of comes in too far on a lot of stuff. And so, I've been thinking about that a lot lately too. So as part of the glute work that I need to do, but, I have felt like I kind of understand what what an activated glute feels like during a run now. And I've been like, I have to keep reminding myself to like search for that feeling, make sure that that's happening during the run. And I do think that's part of what's helping out a lot too. So, all right. I think I think there's just another question here. So I always want to try to make sure I answer the question. And it says he's on his Instagram. He's on Bike Rollers Juggling. Will that do? Yeah, I'll go look for it. I'll go look for it, and we'll see if I can find it. In terms of the unicycle juggling video. And then for a question, we'll end here. Michael Sandoval says, any other Nike gear you've used this year besides the Pegasus? I think the Pegasus was the only Nike shoe that I ran in so far this year. I will probably pick up a pair of the Peg Trail Gore-Tex just because I like Gore-Tex. And I'd like the Peg Trail last year. So I think I'm probably going to like it this year. So that's the other one that I'll probably look at for this year. I'm still thinking about do I want to pick up an Alpha Fly? I'm not sure that I do, but we'll see. I mean, I'm not counting it out. I don't think it's unlikely, but every once in a while I'm like, maybe I should just to know what it is, but all right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow's video, I'm not exactly sure what it is going to be about. It's one of two things that it's going to be about. I'll kind of figure that out in the next couple of hours. But we'll do another live stream, same time, 3 p.m. Central Time here on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll see you there. In the meantime, be safe out there on your Sunday long runs or your Sunday recovery runs. I hope you're having a good run out there. And thanks for tuning in today, everybody.